Good evening, friends. In this video, we are going to discuss about the stamen and carpel, and we are going to see the stages of sexual reproduction. So let's start. See, stamen and carpel. All these are the reproductive structures. Okay. Let's see. Androecium. This is the androecium, and androecium is the male reproductive organ, and this androecium contains stamens. Okay. So the stamen, what is this? This is the male reproductive structure. Now, stamen generally contains two parts. Okay, what are those? This is the bilobed structure, that is anther, and thin, long, tube-like structure, that is filament. Okay, and the free edge of this filament contains bilobed structure, that is known as anther. So androecium is male reproductive organ containing the stamens, and stamen contains two parts, anther and filament. And the very important structure of stamen is anther, as this contain the spores, microspores. Okay, so stamen is also known as microsporophyll, as it contains the microspores. Okay, now come to the gynoecium. This gynoecium is the female reproductive organ, and it contains the carpel. Okay, now this carpel has three parts. See, these are the three parts. First is the stigma. The stigma is the landing platform, this stigma, and then style, and then the ovary. The style is the tubular structure that connects the stigma and the ovary, and the basal and swollen part is ovary. This ovary further contains ovules. We'll discuss. Now these three combine and form carpel, or we can also call it pistil. Okay, this is the female reproductive organ or gynoecium. Now stamen. Stamen contains two parts, that is filament, and the and part is bilobed or known as anther. This anther is bilobed structure, as here you can see these two lobes. Now each lobe contains two theca. Okay, and therefore the stamen is also known as bitheca. Okay, now it contains two theca, and each uh, lobe contains two microsporangia. Okay, what it contains two microsporangia, and in those microsporangia microspores are present. Okay, so we can say that stamen, also called as microsporophyll, this stamen also known as microsporophyll, it contains bilobed structure, that is anther, and in anther further it contains microspores. Okay, now these microspores will further form pollen grains. And the another part, that is carpel, it is the female reproductive structure. It contains three parts. Basal swollen part is ovary. Ovary contains ovules. These ovules, these are connected to the thick cushion like membrane, that is placenta. Okay, and these are the megaspores. So as this carpel is containing megaspores, it is also known as megasporophyll. Okay, stamen is microsporophyll, carpel megasporophyll. Now these microspores, they will form male gametophyte. Actually these microspores are itself male gametophyte. Okay, and these megaspores are female gametophyte. So these are the gametes. So these are haploid structure. Now we'll see the stages of sexual reproduction. Five basic stages are there. First, stamen. See, in a flower we has stamen. Okay, and it is also known as microsporophyll. And if we see the female part, that contains carpels, and carpel is also known as megasporophyll. Further, the stamen contains anther, and anther contains microsporangium. So anther can be called as microsporangium, as it has microsporangium that forms microspores. So carpels contains ovule, and we can also call them megasporangium. Okay, See, finally the female spores are known as megaspores. So all these parts are known contains megasporophyll, that is carpel, and megasporangium, that is ovule. Now further, anther or microsporangium form microspores. These are pollen grains. Okay, and ovule will further contain embryo sac, and these are the megaspore. Now till here, anther and ovule, these are the diploid structures. So these are the sporophyte. Okay, then in microsporangium, meiosis occurs, and here in megasporangium, meiosis occurs. Meiosis means reductional division. So below these microsporangium and megasporangium, all structures are haploid. So these are the haploid structure. Okay, and the process of formation of microspore is known as microsporogenesis. Genesis means formation, so microsporogenesis means formation of microspores, and megasporogenesis means formation of megaspores. Got it? Now further, we have now microspore and megaspore. Now the microspore will form male gametophyte, and megasporophore form will form female gametophyte. Okay, so these are the gametophyte. This is the stage 2, that is development of gametophyte. Okay, see, we have the five basic stages, and first was meiosis. So where meiosis is occurring? Meiosis is occurring for the formation of microspore and megaspore. Okay, here meiosis is occurring, and as meiosis happens, so meiosis is reductional division. So microspore and megaspore both are haploid structures. Now second stage is formation of gametophyte or development of gametophyte. This is stage 2. Okay, so now we have gametes, male gamete and female gamete. Now what we have to do? We have to combine them, or we have to make them closer to each other. Okay, so next step can occur. So next third step is pollination. And what is pollination? Pollination is transfer of pollen grains. Transfer of pollen grains to the ovule, basically megaspore. Okay, so that is pollination, that is step 3. And step 4 is, as now microspore and megaspore are close to each other, so what will happen now? Fusion of male gamete and female gamete, that is fertilization, that is a step 4. And last step is, after fertilization, now we got our ant products. What are those? Those are fruits and seeds. So last step is the formation of fruits and seeds. So we see the stages of sexual reproduction. We have basically 5 stages. First is meiosis, then development of gametophyte, then pollination, then fertilization, and last is formation of fruits and seeds. Okay, so we discussed about stamen and carpel, and we also studied the stages of sexual reproduction. Okay, thanks.